MADELYN CLINE, you dirty dog. Dating Chase Stokes still. Gosh, you guys are cute. It's adorable. I think in my last video, I was able to prove that they were dating long before they actually said they were, or long before they came out in the public eye. Now we're gonna see what they've been up to in this time, since in between seasons. There's a lot of good footage and I wanna check it out before I do. Did you know that if you're having problems with online dating, I have a free class that shows you the one change you can make to your online dating system, your online dating approach, that will actually guarantee that you only end up with dates that you're attracted to. It's really weird. Honestly, the stuff that I teach you, I don't even know how I'm able to bring this out to the world, but I do it. And you can get it for free in the link in the description. You don't have to put your name in, your email in. Click the button, my new free class starts. That's good, but let's watch what you came here for. What's their nickname, y'all? Chatelain? Maze? I guess that's why they don't have a nickname yet, because both of those sound dumb.
Do you think it would have been a deal breaker if I didn't like Milo?
You're more responsible for him than me. You and my mom, that was a you and my mom thing. So this question should be flip-flop.
We peer pressured you into getting a dog.
Sitting there and they're like, get the dog. Like, okay. So I'm not lying, am I, Sam?
That is true.
All right, right off the bat, before I get into it, I am noticing something really interesting about Chase that I don't notice about a lot of celebrities or people that I react to. Chase is equally able to balance a very kind of reserved personality, quiet, not loud, not big and charismatic. Yes, he's able to stay engaged and in the moment, but he's also able to be funny and joke around and really access that improv side of him. Now, I checked out some of their interviews and their lives and all of their Q&As, and I found out that Chase and MADELYN, they actually do a lot of improv on set while filming their characters. He mentioned not a lot of that actually made it into the final cut, but it's so interesting to see that these two have that improv chemistry when they're not even being John B and Sarah. Now, I have a feeling as we keep watching, we're gonna keep seeing Chase be really quiet, reserved, engaged, but also love the improv, love making jokes, love being funny.
You were recently cast in the sequel of Knives Out. Is that correct?
False.
Okay. Sam, she's lying. I already know this. I don't need to see the machine.
It's questionable.
You need to stop lying. There's a detective right there.
Wow, I just never saw this side of John B before, and I mean Chase Stokes when I say John B. I just want to call him John B, but he's Chase. He's really charming. He has this, like I've just what I talked about before. He's very reserved, quiet, but very engaged. Notice his strong eye contact, and he has this amazing deadpan sense of humor. And I want anybody that's watching this right now, anybody that may be an introvert, somebody that may be more quiet, or maybe somebody that may find themselves forcing themselves to be a lot more energetic when they feel like sometimes they don't need to. Study John B/Chase Stokes. He is the perfect example of charm, full-on charm, while being really laid back, quiet. He's like a hot searing ember, something that is kind of, you don't notice it until you touch it and you go, ooh.
Maddie, you once admitted that you, quote unquote, kind of like ASMR.
I sure do.
So do you like it when I do this?
Yeah. Should we do the rest like this?
We could, but I feel like that's a little distracting.
You're right.
Yeah.
Now, something about MADELYN that I'm noticing is that she may not be as engaged in this video right here, but the back and forth between the two of them is really great to watch because their improv, just like they talked about doing on camera, they're able to do when they're just interacting with each other and having fun for a Vanity Fair video. She's so calm, she's engaged, and she doesn't need to put on this personality. She doesn't need to act any way that she isn't. She's just relaxed in who she is. This is such a big part of confidence that most people don't get. Most people think that confidence is about being the big, loud, energetic, entertaining person, but most of the time, and I know this is gonna be a shock to most of you, the people that you see that are so big and energetic out in the open at a party or wherever, they are usually overcompensating because they're insecure about who they are.
What was the moment that you guys fell in love, that you realized this was more than just acting?
I think it was during kind of the pandemic. Like, we all were quarantined together and we had this extended period of time where we were locked in a 500 square foot apartment with Maddie's upstairs neighbor teaching yoga classes and aerobics.
Really interesting. Something that jumps out at me, because I'm trying to look beyond their kind of on-screen persona of what they want to show their relationship as. Trust me, these guys are trying to work around every little question and try to make it squeaky clean. But why were they spending so much time together in her 600 square foot apartment with the yoga instructor upstairs? Why were they locked in an apartment together during the pandemic? What made them go there in the first place? They don't have to do that. Actors don't have to do that. A guy and a girlfriend that work together don't have to be spending time together in an apartment. They don't. He could have went home to his family. He didn't have to stay there for weeks on end.
I definitely had some feelings, but I mean, it's, you know, I think when you're on location in like a really dreamy place, then, you know, you connect with a lot of people. Yeah, I think when you're put in those magical circumstances, of course, you know, and you all have chemistry, I think it's, you know, it's a lot of fun. But I think, like what Chase is saying, I think when we came back to reality and we still remained as good of friends and even got closer, I think that's for me when I realized that those feelings were real.
Now, I noticed that Chase is definitely more secretive about his personal life than MADELYN is. I noticed that Chase was really trying to just really not say much at all, while MADELYN, on the other hand, I could tell she wanted to express herself, but she was purposely holding back. Where, like I said, Chase, I don't think he even wanted to express himself in this area. Now, if you notice, MADELYN did mention that while she was on set, she did have feelings for Chase. She tried to like throw in with the fact that it was like, oh, we all had chemistry, everyone on set, but she was pretty clear that she was attracted to him before the pandemic. Now, were they intimate off camera before the pandemic? It's hard to tell. In all likelihood, it could have gone as simple as they had feelings for each other on set, they kissed in that scene, they kept hanging out with each other as friends until after shooting was done. They kept hanging out. Pandemic hit, they were really isolated, and then sooner than later, they're gonna start kissing off camera. They're gonna start hooking up in the apartment. But the main thing to be conscious of once again is they started out as friends. They didn't just start working together and start hooking up and then start dating from there. They weren't going on these like official candlelight dinner dates. They were friends and they were professional colleagues. And then that friendship turned into something. Why did it turn into something? Because they met through like-minded interests, which was also coincidentally their profession. This is how most long-lasting relationships begin, through friends in a like-minded community.
And it was pouring rain. None of that was special effects. We were going to cancel the day. And Jonas had this grand old idea. He's like, every romantic, you know, scene needs to have rain. It just makes it so much more intense and so much more beautiful. So we were like, okay. And that's sort of an homage to Outer Banks. It's just kind of saying okay and going with it. And so we did. And we just looked at each other and just gave each other a huge high five and hugged each other and said, here we go. We're going to do this in the rain and have all these, you know, people running around and watching us. And there was some improv involved that, you know, I think made it a little more personal. And
some improv involved that made it a little bit more personal. I slipped my tongue in. The director didn't ask me to do that. MADELYN had no idea, but you know, I just wanted to make it a little more personal. MADELYN then proceeded to do the ABCs with her tongue in my tongue, and oh, we laughed about it afterwards. That was the ABCs, wasn't it? I thought you were counting from 1 to 100. Holy crap.
So it was just always work oriented for I mean, really till the day we wrapped. And it wasn't until after that, until we started to, you know, kind of get into the lockdown where we were like, is there something here or am I crazy? And that's sort of where it bloomed from there. And I think, yeah, we were so invested in the work and so scared of kind of the fear of failure that was sort of the main focus throughout the work process.
So yeah, Chase said it right there. They didn't actually start dating or hooking up until after it wrapped. And why? It's because their shooting schedule was so hectic and they were so focused on their work. Like for instance, that kissing scene, they shot 35 times. That probably helped them gain attraction for each other and a comfort for each other, this intimacy that they could share that nobody else could share with them, probably made them feel this unique connection. So when they started hanging out after shooting wrapped, the pandemic started, they were really friends, but at the same time, two people that are pretty young, it's rare that a guy and a girl just hang out as friends on a long-term basis if there's not the slightest bit of attraction between each other. So they definitely, at least subconsciously, kind of came together to start hanging out during the pandemic because they were attracted to each other. Now, I'm not saying that a guy and a girl can't make best friends and it's not sexual whatsoever. I completely believe that's true. I've had a lot of friends where it was just like that throughout my life. So yeah, it does happen, but is it super, super common? No.
I made you some 3-hour-old coffee.
My favorite. How'd you know?
It's cold.
Ooh.
Also, I put ice cubes in it to mask the fact that
We ran out of
it's,
coffee.
yeah, we ran out of coffee.
We ran out of coffee. Did you know that?
So I just spent the past 15 minutes really just going over that Vogue video with MADELYN CLINE and Chase Stokes and really watching MADELYN through that 24 hours. Because I was trying to figure out who she is. Like, I really can't get a hold on her. I think it's clear to me now that both MADELYN and Chase are introverts. And I think they relate on being introverts. And I actually find that a lot of the actors that I have analyzed in my classic charm videos and whatnot tend to actually be introverts that act extroverted when they're playing characters. Now you guys have to realize that acting is a very introverted practice, an introverted skill. When you are embodying a character, you have to go inside yourself and understand how that person would feel, how to properly express what this character needs to express in the moment. One big part of why I think Outer Banks is such a successful show isn't just because of the storyline and the great directing and the great production quality, but I think it's because of the great acting involved. I think Chase and MADELYN are great actors, and their chemistry with each other really shows that.
It was a reality check for sure. I was like, I need to get my ego in check, because just because I moved to California doesn't mean that things are going to happen to me or happen for me. And it has happened really fast. It's all happened very fast. Learning how to deal with the anxiety of it all and the imposter syndrome of it all has been quite a journey.
No, I'm not saying that every actor has to be an introvert, but I do think that these two are. And if I'm going to start speculating here, I would say that that's something that also brought them together. That feeling of going, wow, we're both really kind of introverted people. We are in our heads a lot. You know, MADELYN talked about a lot of her anxiety coming to LA and considering being an actor and learning how to deal with that anxiety. And this is just another example of two people that came together for a certain reason. I find that so many people are able to come together for different reasons. Like Brandon Walsh and Devora, they came together because they liked the difference of vibes in each other. Now, I think with MADELYN and Chase, it's the opposite. I think they like their similar vibes. Just watching them enjoy coffee together with their dog, I could tell that they are really happy, just kind of being quiet with each other, enjoying the present present moment with each other, talking about things in detail, getting really deep with each other. And as always, there's really not enough footage for me to really look at and to see what their relationship is really like, because in all of these videos, in the lie detector test, it was more of an entertaining game. In the interview, they weren't really speaking to each other, they were speaking to the interviewer. And in the 24 hours with MADELYN, that to me was the best hints of who they really are together. But at the same time, it was about a minute. And once again, they were kind of talking to the producers and not as much interacting with each other. And if MADELYN or Chase watch this, which I don't assume they will, I would love to hear you guys on a podcast or some video together where you're actually interacting with each other. That would be so great for me to analyze and break down, and it would help me enable my viewers to be able to learn how to have a better relationship with each other, because it's so clear how great your relationship is. Now, they didn't meet on online dating apps because, of course, MADELYN doesn't have Tinder. But if you are having problems with online dating apps, I have the one change you can make to your online dating approach that will only guarantee you having attractive dates. You can click the link in the description now to get the free class that I have for you. You don't have to put in your name. You don't have to put in an email or a password. You click the button and then the class begins, and you'll see me over there. Enjoy. Bye boy. You touch it and you go, ooh.